Hi, Rejoice. Welcome. Hi, Glory. Hi, Vivian. Hi, Okpara. Hi, Precious. Hi, Diana. Oh, she said, Falashade said it's been very fantastic. Someone said it's been great, amazing, fantastic. So, have you done your projects? Have you done your projects? Have you guys done your project? Oh, fantastic. You love the video editing, Olivia. Nice. Nice. So while you're sharing that feedback, I sent a mail this evening. If you didn't check your mail, please do check. I got the complaints about the cards and the feedback, and I really am sorry about that. It's not intentional. I don't think I want you to stress that much. No, I don't want you to do that. So you have the option to do project B. However, project B, there are some hashtags that have been added to it beyond what was originally there. So you might want to go back to the LMS and check to be sure you're using the right hashtags. And then if you can't get the cards, please just do project B. If you can't go through the stress, please by all means just do project B. Um, and then yeah, if you can get the card, fine. I understand that some branches don't have the cards, but they are supposed to be able to request the card from the headquarters for you. However, I also understand that there are some people that do not understand their jobs very well, or they do not understand what is expected of them at that point, and maybe you might have met a new staff or a branch that is not well informed, and so you might have that issue. So sorry about that. You don't have to stress. Now, for those that went through all the stress to get the card, like I said, I'm going to give them a one-on-one session with me, 45 minutes. When they're done with Jacob Girls and they want to identify the right parts for them, or if they want to know what part to take or how to apply to their business, they have that one-on-one with me. My one-on-one costs 50,000 naira for 1 hour. So they're gonna have 45 minutes for me with for free for those that have the card. So but then there are no extra marks. So you do your project, just do project B. Don't stress so much about it. Just do project B. Now, another news I have for you is you remember Mrs. Estella Yaya Balogun, the very first coaching call we had. So we concluded yesterday, and she's going to have your goal setting class on the 1st of April. By then, you should be done with Tech Up Girls. So she's going to have your first your first coaching call as an alumni on goal setting for you for free. And it's going to be a practical class where she's going to teach you how to set goals based on what you've learned. There's a challenge I used to have for my early students, and that challenge is to make your first 150,000 um 30 days after your Tech Up Girls bootcamp. So what we do is we challenge you. I tell you what to do each and every day for 30 days, and you're able to make that money. And then some people even make more than that amount of money. I used to do that for the early Tech Up Girls. I don't know if I'll do that for you guys because of the number. Now that boot camp is not usually free because as at that time, that Tech Up Girls was paid for. It wasn't free. It was paid for. So I tell you what to do, I tell you how to do it, and they're able to get their jobs by themselves. I don't know if we're going to do that for you, if we're going to do it, if it's going to be paid, if it's going to be free, I don't know. But Miss Estella is definitely going to walk you all through how to set goals for yourself and how to actualize your goals. And you know now you trust she's the all of you are saying please do, please do. It's not going to be free because it involves a whole lot of accountability. It's not an online course that I will teach you and leave you to go and do it. It's not an email course. It's literally every day you have a task to do. Every single day, I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you how to do it. And you have to actually put yourself out there. And trust me, you will make more than that money. It's a very intentional part. And so if you want me to do that for you, it's not going to be free. It's actually going to be paid. It's not something you have other mentors guiding you. It's something I do for people by myself at the accountability group. So I don't know, maybe later we'll do a poll. If you're interested in it, I tell you the price. If we have up to the number, because it has to be a number I can manage. Because every day I'll be checking to ensure that you have done what you're supposed to do. So if I get a good number, fine, we'll go ahead and do it immediately after Tech Up Girls, and you will see, you'll be amazed at your growth and at how much. It's a 30-day journey, 30 days, like back to back, and you will not even recognize yourself after it. But I don't know, I can't promise you. My hands are full. As I'm speaking to you, I'm so tired. Very tired. Oh my god. But we'll try. I'll put up the link, and I'll put up a poll on the Facebook group maybe after this call, and if we get enough yes, we'll do that. If not, what Mr. Stella will give you is also fantastic. A goal setting class for about 2 hours, very practical goal setting class. And I'm so happy. That's a gift to all of you. She also sent me the book. Remember when she was teaching, she talked. I'm just gisting with you guys while we are waiting for our guest to come in. She's quickly setting up. She If you remember, she spoke about atomic habits. She spoke about atomic habits, and so she has sent the book to me, and I'm going to send it to all of you. She said she sent the e-copy, that for those that cannot afford to buy the hard copy or do not have Rejoice, I need a VA. I actually have a VA. I have an assistant already. I have an assistant. I have staff. I do, but I'm still very I'm still very busy. It's not been easy. I'm so tired. I've been speaking all over the place. I've been doing a lot of things. So yeah, but it's fine. So I'm going to share the book with you guys so you can download. I will share it in your groups. I'll send it to your mentors, and your mentors will share it with you. So she said I should give you guys all of that. Um okay, our coach is here. Is she ready for us? Let me just confirm that. Let me see. Okay. Let me just find out if she's ready for us. I was going to call some of you in to come say one or two things if you wanted to. So let me find out if she's ready for us. But okay, let me go to the group. Okay. Hey, Bully, you say that might be my VA. Oh, wow. I don't have much salaries to pay. Oh. I think I'm giving so much already. Most of the things we are doing are free, as you can see. So I have an assistant. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your care. If you want to help me with stuff and you think you have specialized skills, just email me, and just maybe I can you might just have a skill that I need to help me with something. So we're still waiting for her. She's not up here. So while we're waiting for her, I'm going to do something quickly. I'm going to share a link in the Facebook group right now. And if you're there, I'll just put it in the comments. You can just click on the link and join me live here. So we'll see your face. Okay, she's ready. So if you click on the link on in the Facebook, you just join me live here, and you can ask me anything. I just put it in the chats. I put the link in the chats. So if you're the first to click on it, I can just admit you to come in live here and join me. But she's here. Welcome. Thank you so much. You're muted.
Sorry, guys. Hi. Hi,
Welcome.
excellent. Thank you. Good evening.
Good
Good evening,
evening.
everyone. I apologize for the mix-up. I apologize for the tardiness. I absolutely forgot that we had a time difference thing going on. Like, I was just here literally getting ready for 7 o'clock. The funny thing is, I always keep that time frame in mind, but just this once, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry,
No,
guys.
it's fine. We're glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Hello. I was hoping that I could um join in the session where I would have a bit more interactions, such that I'm able to know who's hearing me and get some feedback and all. So
Okay,
I
there
don't
are
know. I
comments.
think this is.
There are comments on the
Okay.
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. I see the chat with everyone in the studio. I think, let me see. Oh, okay, yeah, I see that now. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, I see.
Oh wow, she just went off. She'll be back. Just give it a few seconds. Okay, Olivia is here. Nimiba is here. So I'm spotlighting Olivia now. She clicked on the link. Hi, Olivia.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good
I'm so
evening.
excited.
So, how's Stock of Girls been for you? And where are you joining us from? What part of the country or what country?
Okay, I'm in Nigeria. I'm in Asaba Delta State currently.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic.
nice.
Welcome.
Looks like I got booted out for a minute.
Yes, you did. You did. Welcome
I don't
back.
know what happened.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
That's
Olivia, we'll
okay.
have you back when she's done.
All
If you
right.
stay back here. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay,
Okay.
you have the floor.
All right. So, good evening again, everyone. I'm going to try to keep in touch with the chat because I really want to get feedback. Like I said, I don't know why. Somehow, excellence, it looks like it's just yours I can see until I click. And then when I click, that's when.
Sorry. When she's trying to see your comments, she just gets put out. She'll come back in a bit. Wiwa, Abigail.
Hi, good evening, ma.
And good evening. We can't even see your face at all.
It's dark here, though.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from River State, ma.
Oh wow, the name looks more Cameroon, right? Not Nigerian. How is River State today?
Very fine, thank you, ma. Thank you.
So she's back. Let's have
Okay.
her back.
Okay, so I see what the problem is. I obviously can't access the charts from where I am. If I try to
Oh,
access the charts, it boots me out. So
so
I'm gonna try. Oh no, it's okay. I don't know how. Maybe we can give rights. I don't know. We'll find a way to make it work though. So the thing is, because I thought that this was 7 o'clock, I was still gonna send my slides across to Excellence. But now that I wasn't able to, just so I don't keep everyone waiting, I'll try to see how I can um I'm also trying to see if I can share my screen from here, but I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with the technology. I usually am able to share my screen even with my phone, but I'm not able to do that. So we'll find a way to wing it, regardless. Thank you everyone for joining in. I'm going to Excellence. Is it possible for me to join on the other device just so I can see comments and maybe we can mute that other one so we don't have a
yes,
feedback? Yeah,
yes,
because
you can. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly try to do that. In the meantime, just as a form of icebreaker, I'm gonna ask you to, in a minute, think about who the most important person in your life is and why. And then I'm not going to ask you to tell me who it is, but just think about it for a minute. Who is the most important person in my life, or who has had like the most impact on my life's journey, and why? Just think about it for a minute, and then I'm going to try to join on another device, and then I will now ask you a question that I want a response to. For that one, you just think about it and um, stew on it for your own purposes. Just give me a minute though. Okay, we're gonna try to join in from here. Okay, I think we're almost there. I'm gonna. Okay, Excellence, can you mute me from your end, or do I have to do it myself? Can you mute like everyone else, just so that it doesn't cause a feedback? So I'm
Okay, so this
joining
is
in.
StreamYard, they can't speak. Don't worry.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, okay. Okay. All right. I think that I have that sorted now. I think so. All right. So we're just going to carry on so that this doesn't become a distraction. I think that you've had a minute to think about that, and then I'll quickly jump in and introduce myself. My name is Favour. I'm sure there's been some mini introduction somewhere, and I'm happy to be here. Excellence, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the amazing work that you're doing. And thank you, everyone who's here. I feel like this generation is really privileged. I feel like this generation has access to a lot of information, and a lot of that information pretty early. Some of us began to know things or find out things much later. So I would say that that's the privilege that you should not just take to heart, but maximize in every way possible. All right, so we're talking about you and your network. And basically, what is your network? Your network is, simply put, because I'm going to make this or try to make this as practical as possible. No technicalities, no what's it called, technical language or jargon. Just I want it as technical, as practical and realistic as possible. So what's your network? Your network is um, the people that you know, okay? And the people that you know would either be the people that you know from, let's start from the very basics, your family, the people that you know from school, the people that you know from your workplace or from your place of worship, people that you know from acquaintances, people that you know from businesses. So basically, your network is built up of people that you know, people that you've, excuse me, you've had some kind of relationship with at one level or the other, right? And why are we talking about your network? We're talking about um, not just who your network is, but the impact that your network can have on your life and on your future. Like I said, I want to break this down as much as possible. I wish that I was able to share my slides because I had a couple pictures or images that I wanted us to see, but I will try as much as possible to paint an imagery. All right. Um, give me a minute. Okay. So when I think about people, when I think about networking, what comes to my mind is this picture that I saw. I had thought about it in my head and I went looking for that picture. Unfortunately, I found something like that. I just wish that I could share it. But it's like a pyramid of sorts, yeah, where you are able to, you see, uh, uh, again, I have the challenge that I can't even get your feedback. but I'm hoping that you hear me and you're responding. So if you have a general idea of what a pyramid is like, it's like a block laid on another, one block laid on another, one block laid on another. And network or relationships, as it were, it's like the building block of one's life. So a while ago, I asked that you think about the most important person in your life, or the person who's been most useful to your journey. Oh, okay. Okay, Mini. Thank you. Nice to see your response there. Okay. So this is Facebook people. I can see their comments. Interesting. Okay, nice. All right. So a pyramid, usually it just keeps building. It just you can grow on it, as it were. And that's how relationships are. That's how your network is. It is something that you can build on. It's something that. And then the second part of that picture that I had wanted to show is it has um like people holding themselves, this person connecting to the other. What I would do is, maybe after this session, I will see whether maybe I can send that picture to Excellence, and then maybe have it shared in the group or something, just so you have an idea of the imagery that I have created, and that I want to use to pass across the message. So basically, what happens is you are connecting to this person, and then that person is connecting to another person, and inadvertently, whether consciously or unconsciously, deliberately or not deliberately, that person who has connected to another has in some way passed that connection to you, because I'm sure someone or a lot of us have that experience where they say, how do you know this person? He said, it's not really my friend like that. Oh, it's just my friend's friend. So when we now went for this, that, I now got to meet this person, right? You have that experience. We all do. Or maybe someone who's connected to your relative, someone who's friends with your cousin, and then somehow you get to meet them. And the funny thing is, sometimes the person who connected you to that other person originally, you end up getting closer to the person that you met through them, even more than the person that you originally knew. All right. So that's what I just want to create that imagery for you. Now, what does that mean? That means that it is something that you have to be intentional about. So the people that you meet, knowing that whether consciously, whether deliberately or not, you are going to meet some other people through them. It means that you have to be conscious or deliberate about the ones that you are by yourself letting into your life and into your space. Okay. Now, of course, this is for the scenario or the circumstances where you have direct control over the people that you allow in. And then who are the people that you have direct control over, allowing them into your life? Basically friends, basically colleagues, basically classmates, and all people you can decide whether to relate with or not. When it comes to family relationships or employment relationships, say like bosses and all, a lot of times that's not something that we have control over. And so you and your network also means that you have to learn how to manage the relationships that you do not have any control over. Yeah. So you are intentional about the ones that you are letting in intentionally by yourself consciously, and then you learn to manage the ones that you have no control over. That's like my preview, as it were. Now, to get into the meat of the matter, as it were, I'd like to ask a very pertinent question. Well, I say pertinent because I find that it's one question that helped me begin to look at networking or relationships from a different perspective. All right. When they say, it's a cliche, I know, but when they say, I'm glad I can get some feedback, so I'm going to wait to hear some response from you. So when you hear, your network is your net worth, what comes to your mind? Why do you think that people usually say that? I'm sure if you haven't heard anybody say that before, you haven't heard that slogan before, just let me know as well. But if you've heard it, why do you think so? I'd like two responses, and then I can latch on to that and make the point that I'm driving at. Yeah, so I'm waiting to hear. Have you heard someone or anyone say your network is your net worth? Have you heard that before? Oh, okay. Nafisat. I'm not sure I got the name right, but she said I never heard that before, Sha. Okay, so um, okay, someone else says they say that because it determines your achievements. Amazing. Okay. The people in your life can help you build your future. There are connections you need to make your dreams come true sometimes. Amazing, 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 amazing. The quality of the people around you informs your worth as a person. Okay, yes, that's some. Yes, that's some. Okay, someone else has said something. Your network determines how well.
Sorry, my mic was muted. She'll be back. I think her network got her out, but she'll be back shortly. And I'm saying sorry, Precious, your network. I hope you're able to see the replay, but I think you should stay through and persevere to get access to what she's actually saying. But let's give her a few minutes. I think she'll be back with us. So Abigail says network meaning the people you meet determines your success. Luani Femi says your connection will determine the things you carry. Interesting. Zara says your net worth is your network. The people around you build you. This is from Prudence. Fantastic. Oh, Mary Felix said this is the first this is the first time she's hearing it. Okay. Zainab says, I feel it means the people you deal with or relate with are the person that can help you out. Ademo, it means you'll be judged with the set of people around you. Okay, welcome back.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I don't know why this thing keeps booting me out, but well, move. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for all for your responses, beautiful responses. And yes, I agree with you to a large extent. So um I asked that question because I want us to build that pyramid together. I did mention earlier that you and your network is like a pyramid of sorts. And I want us to build that pyramid together. And I've summed that pyramid up in what I would refer to as the 5 Ps of network. All right. So we've identified from our responses, network being your net worth is as a result of people, right? So the first P in the pyramid that is your network is people. So you can't discountenance the importance of people. And of course, we have just agreed that, excuse me, we've agreed that there are people who you can be conscious and deliberate about meeting and choosing, and those who you have to manage your relationships with them, because that's a different topic, that's a different tech talk, and I'm not getting into that. I just wanted to mention it by the side. But the most important thing is that the first P on the pyramid of networking is people. So now when you meet people, regardless of whether it was through your choice or it was through accident or it was through another person's connection, it is a fact that people is number one. You must know people, you must meet people, you must connect with people at some level. Now, what usually happens, the very next step, of course, when I say the next step now, it's not necessarily in any particular order. Okay, any of them can come before the other, but I think that most times it follows that sequence. So when you meet people, what happens is places. So you met someone, and then you are either connecting with them, in a particular place, or you need to meet with them in another place, or you need to do something with them in a place. So there's a place for a place, pun intended, for the journey of networking with people. So it's either they are helping you in terms of your place of work, your place of primary assignment, your place of business, your place of career advancement, but they say places, right? And then thirdly, on the pyramid of meeting people, is that people offer you platforms. People, you get to places and you get to platforms. Of course, we can draw all of this out from, without me saying so much, a lot of the responses that we've gotten. So sometimes someone had mentioned that sometimes the how far you can get to is dependent on who you know, right? It's dependent on who and the worth of the people that you have met. Is dependent on oh my God, okay, I'm here again. It's dependent on who you know. It's dependent on the worth or the value or the quality of the people that you know, right? Now, what that also does is it offers you platforms. And then from platforms, it offers you opportunities, or sorry, it offers you partnerships. So, like I said, this doesn't have to be in any particular order. But when you're thinking about networking, you're thinking about places, you're thinking about people, you're thinking about platforms, you're thinking about partnerships, and then it now gets to the crescendo, which is what, like it or not, every comment that we have made is eventually leading to that part. It leads you to a place of prosperity. So the people that you connect with will determine the kind of platforms you have, will determine the kind of partnerships you are able to get into, will determine the kind of platforms that you have, and determine the level of prosperity. And of course, when we are talking prosperity, we're not just talking about prosperity in terms of cash, physical things, We're talking prosperity. We're talking prosperity is a generic word that sometimes we've just limited to material things or money. Prosperity is being able to, it's prospering, it's doing well, it's excelling. That would be another word, another synonym for it if I were to, maybe write my own dictionary. All right. So as a way, as a form of summary, this is the 5 P's I have identified in networking with people. Now, what does this mean? It means that every time you relate with someone, you should be relating with them with the intention that your name rings a bell, drops a message, leaves a memory. And of course, you will agree with me that the kind of memory you want for your name to be living, or the kind of bell that you want for it to ring in their minds in meeting you, will not be a negative one. Because you're bearing in mind that people are connecting you to places, connecting you to platforms, connecting you to partnerships, and eventually connecting you to prosperity. So it goes back to us talking about intentionality in meeting people. It goes back to us talking about intentionality in letting people into our space. And then it goes back to us talking about how to manage the relationships that we come across. I was in a building a few days ago. Remember, I said I want to make this as practical as possible. So I'm breaking it. I wish that we're having the kind of conversation I really wanted us to have. If I had been able to sign on the way I wanted to sign on, I want it to be really conversational. So two stories that I want to share with you today that just really breaks down this idea for me in the simplest way. So I was in a building just about 2 days ago, and I had to use the restroom. And when I got into the restroom, doing my thing, of course, you really can't help what you overhear. It wasn't like I was looking to eavesdrop or anything. I was in one of the stalls, and I could hear someone in the next stall, and the person was being quite loud. And the person was saying, so I want to bring her on board. This person is really the person was listing out what's it called now? Listing out what's the word? Credentials of the person that they were talking about on the phone. This person is a senior manager, has managed this, has done this one, has been able to. In fact, this person, she's able to. I don't have anybody on my team who can play second in command. I don't want to run a platform that's just only me. I don't want to run a platform that where if I leave everything breaks down. So I think the person that they were on the phone with asked a question, and I think that question was in relation to another person who already works with the person who was having this conversation. So I think when they asked you, he said, this person knows what to do because they follow procedure. They follow the rules. But when it comes to decision making, when it comes to taking discretion, I can't leave it in the hands of this person. And she was saying this thing so strong, like she spent in the few minutes that I spent in that store before I got out, had to wash my hands and everything. That conversation kept going. In fact, that conversation was still going on until I left the restroom. And initially, I didn't think much of it, but at some point, it struck me. And I asked myself, what is it that someone can speak about me so authoritatively, even in my absence? Because we can use all forms of high sounding words and talk about network, but really this is what network comes down to. This is what you and your network comes down to. So whether it be friendships, whether it be family first, because that's the one that you come into that you really don't have, whether it be family, it be friends, it be classmates, colleagues, church members, whatever kind of relationship, it boils down to what mark are you leaving? What bell does your name sound in their ears? Who do you have? Who are you relating with? Who are you connecting with that can speak for you in your absence in the places that matter? And, I'm going to have to sound a note of warning, saying this. People who speak up for you in the places that matter are not people that you go seeking for them to speak for you in the place that matters or in the places that matter. We talked about partnerships, we talked about platforms and all that. The people who will offer you platforms, the people who will offer you partnerships, the people who will lead you to the places that matter, they are not people who you set out to go look for them to do that for you. Trust me, if you relate with people on the basis of, I'm relating with this person so that they can speak for me. I've lived quite some decades on planet Earth. I can assure you that's not going to happen because that's not how it works. The truth is, people observe you when you think they are not observing you. People observe you at the times when you think no one is looking. In fact, given, in this scenario, the story I just shared, I can almost be sure to say that lady that was being spoken about didn't set out in her relationship with the person who was speaking about her and saying, I think she was talking maybe to a board member or a director or something, to say, we ought to be hiring this person. She didn't set out to go and relate with this person so that when she has an opportunity to hire her, she will mention her name. No. And I think that that's the problem that we have in our generation. That's where we are getting it wrong. A lot of times, people regard, when you talk about networking, people regard networking as something that you set out to do. When we say intentionality, people make the mistake to think that intentionality means or equals that you set out to get people to like you, to accept you, to do things for you. But that's not how it works. Acceptability is good. Likability is great. But if we are talking about how you can optimize and maximize the use of your networks in achieving this pyramid that we have just described, it will mean that, first of all, you are delivering value. It will mean that you have, first of all, become. You have to be first before you do. So you have to be someone of value before you can now communicate the things that have value. And then it is in that people now discover what can ring a bell about your name in such a way that your name, leaves a lasting memory of sorts. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. So if you are living intentionality, it's not intentionality in the sense that you are looking at people from a parasitic perspective. It doesn't work. That can only work at a very elementary level. When people have been opportune to have some doors or certain kind of doors open up to me, and I can tell you for a fact that a lot of those doors, were well connected to people I knew, but it was not as a result of me expecting it, needing it, asking for it. It was because people had observed me in my natural habitats. So I'm going to ask you today, who are you in your natural habitat? And then I'm going to go back to the first question that I asked you when we started and say, who is the person that has affected you most or you find most important in your journey of life? And why is that? Was it because the person was seeking to impress you, or the person was just being, or the person was just doing out of a place of who they are? So your value in the chain of networking, it actually flows from who you have become over time, what you have filled yourself with, and then it outflows, it flows out for people to now see it, and then they now say, oh, this person has value, this person has delivered value, this person communicates value. So I just want that to sink in for a minute, while you can ask yourself again, who am I in my natural habitat? Am I a person that can attract value? Because it's all well and good to want to be, a person who, and that's why I said I agree with you to an extent that, oh, your network is your network, your network is your net worth in the quality of people that you attract. It determines who you are and all that. But can I bust your bubble and tell you tonight that really your network, being your net worth, is determined by, or is determined, or is predetermined, is the determinant of that your network, being your network, is who you are. Your own quality. It's your own quality first. Surprisingly. It's not the quality of the people that you're attracting. Because eventually, like it or not, you're going to attract who you are. Yes, like we said, there are some relationships that you have no say about, really, that you are not the determining factor of. You just found yourself in those circumstances, yes, and you learn how to manage them. And how do you learn how to manage them? By the person that you have become, by the value that you have developed, by who you are. So I ask again, who are you in your natural habitats? So you want to have a high network of people, wonderful professionals, people who hold your hand, people who are there, people who mention your name. All right, so can I ask you, how many people have you mentioned their names in the places that matter? One of the things I discovered about myself at some point in my life that I really liked is that I had the ability to spot people who are good for a particular position, or good for a particular person, or good for a particular role, and connect them. I just had that knack. And two particular people that I connected, one person a professional, and I saw this other person who was headed in that line. I'm like, I think this person should mentor you. I connected both of them. That relationship has created a ripple of multiple effects, not just for the people involved, funny enough, for me in some way. And that was not what I set out to do. And so that's the thing about network. And that's when I agreed, and that's when I came to that summation that it's really not so much about those people that you expect the world from, as much as it is about you. I want to share another story, very briefly, but let me see if I can find this quote and quickly read it out. Just give me a minute. Okay. I can't really fish out that now, but like I said, I would try to share this information that I wasn't able to share in these slides if I have the chance later. But let me quickly share a story, with you. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, I just realized that in my professional journey, I had not, I had not attended any interviews. In fact, I think it was just one. I know I hadn't even applied for any job. So my job connections, the jobs that I had done, both in terms of practice, referrals, and then in terms of paid jobs, like properly speaking, strictly so speaking jobs, just came from, people who knew me and had talked about me, had said, okay, go to this person, I want this person in this position. That had happened. So I wasn't even paying attention to it until something happened and it struck me. But the thing is, when I came to that realization, I also came to the realization that that part of my life might no longer continue that way. You know why? because part of the requirement of networking, the pyramid that networking brings, is it requires that you outgrow certain levels of favor. So, what do I mean? The kinds of jobs that I was now seeking to do, the kind of things I wanted to do with my life, required me to be in rooms where I could show that I was deserving of those positions, where I literally, there were competitive roles where I literally had to, for lack of a better word, fight for the role, because there were other people in the room, some of them better qualified. I'm sharing this to further buttress the point that it is who you are becoming and the things that you do that will determine just how much the pyramid of networking will take you. So imagine that I get so comfortable and I look back and I'm like, oh, I mean, my name is even Favour. So I say, oh, Favour continue to follow me. Favour continue to follow me. And, as it continues to follow me, I will never have to apply for a job. I will never have to interview for a job. The funny thing is, at some level, it might seem like a good prayer, right? But it's not. Because the kind of network that I want to have would necessitate me becoming a certain kind of person to be able to access that network. So I've become a person who can connect other people. I've become a person who can work hard, can work my ass off to be in a particular, to get into a particular room, such that people who are observing me in my natural habitat will know that this is who I am. And if they are recommending me for something, they are giving me the opportunity. If they are connecting me, if they are pulling me up a pyramid, it's because of who they know me to be. So what that means also is that when you build networking from that perspective, what it does for your mindset is that people, yes, someone may have helped you along your journey, but it's not necessarily that they have done you a favor because you are not able to make moves by yourself. Like, you will know, you yourself will know. Do you know the feeling? Do you know the kind of confidence that comes from knowing that the fact that they gave me this opportunity is not because ordinarily I would not have been able to. In fact, you build yourself to an extent where people are looking for a way to do you a favor. They are looking for a way to connect you. They are looking for who they know that they can connect you to because of who you are. I mean, so it's not, there's a level of worth that it will give to you, knowing that they don't feel like I did this person a favor in the sense that without me, because that's who you've created yourself to become. And because you are also spreading it, it's like a circle. So you don't turn yourself to a well, because our generation is full of entitled people. So you're not there just saying, oh yeah, be giving to me. In fact, I don't have anybody. I don't know how many of you are people of faith here, but I'm a person of faith and I like to talk from the Bible, Hey, God. Yeah. So somewhere in scripture, I don't want to quote so much because we're not doing Bible study, but somewhere in scripture, someone said that, I've been here for 38 years. When everybody comes, they just pass me. Nobody throws me to the hello, sir. Who did you signpost to anywhere? Why did you think that everybody owed you the duty of doing a particular thing for you? What was your own effort? Let me ask you, since you started the Tech Up Girls training, how many people have you reached out to? How many people have you said hello to? How many people have you that you know what they do? Have you thought about how you can add value to their chain of business? Who you can recommend them to? Or are you just going to sit on your high horse and just say, "Oh, I'm waiting for my destiny helper"? Oh well, I'm glad that I'm talking to people who have taken a step. Because I mean, the fact that you are here, the fact that you're part of this session, the fact that you're taking part in this training means that you are a person who is becoming. And you must never stop becoming. It's a journey. It never ends. It's a process. So if you forget anything, I don't know how much more time I've got. I know we started late, but I'm going to try to wrap it up. If you forget anything, don't forget that network is a pyramid. I've mentioned what I think the pyramids. I think that everything in between can find its way under there. But that pyramid is hugely determined by you. Is hugely determined by who you have become. That you must be first before you do. That you must attract, or that you attract who you have become. And that if you keep an entitlement mentality, you will not become that person who says my network is my net worth. It's not going to work, because what's your worth first? And that people, they find you worthy when they're watching you in your natural habitat. I'm not sure I've got any more time. I've got so much I want to say. But like I said, I'm not sure I've got so much more time. So I'm gonna just ask Excellence. I'm not getting any feeders whether I have more time. Oh,
How many more minutes do you need? We started a
well,
bit late.
okay. All right. So do you want to give me a little more time? Do you want to give me 5 minutes? I think I'm
Okay. Yeah, we can do
yeah.
5 minutes, then we do Q&A. Most people are having issues with power and the internet.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So
We can,
I'll keep it to 2 minutes then. Yeah,
all right. Thank you.
it's okay. All right. So I had wanted to launch into a particular, but like I said, I'll just keep it under 2 minutes. So I've had some episodes, but to wrap it up, the best way to describe it to you and not launch into details. I used to experience, or I used to have this moments where if people call me, I go back in time to say, when was the last time this person checked up on me? I mean, like, when people call me because they have a situation, there's a challenge that they have. And I'm like, this person has this funny habit of only remembering me when they have a problem. Has anyone experienced that before? But you know that's a very funny way to think. Because when someone calls you because they have a problem, that's actually your worth. That's how your name leaves a bell, right? That's how the memory of you, which takes us back to the first question I asked you. Who is the most important, or who has helped you most in life? What happened? In what way? In what sense? So please, I'd ask you to actually be excited every time someone remembers you because they want a problem solved. In fact, I experienced it a few days ago. So one of your coaches here, Grace, I needed something done. And I haven't spoken to her. I don't think we've spoken this year. And I reached out to her. I'm like, oh, hello, Grace. Yeah, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but could you help me do this? And she's like, oh. And that was one eureka moment. Because what that meant is that her name was responding to her worth. I could think of her in connection with a need that she can solve. So what can someone think of you in connection with you bringing solutions to? Because how again are you going to build worth? What again is your network? How again are you attracting value, if not by meeting needs? And that's why we said you become first before you do. And that's how you attract what? That's how you become a person of value. So I'm wrapping up with that. The next time people are calling you because they want a solution, forget about whether they have not spoken to you in the past decade. It doesn't matter. It does mean that you should beat your chest and say, oh, so I meet a need. There's a value I'm communicating. It means you are climbing up the ladder. That pyramid, you're making steps on it. And what that means is that that person can actually mention your name to someone else because you have been observed in your natural habitats. I hope it makes sense to you. I hope that you utilize every opportunity that you have to be the best that you can be, to give of yourself willingly, cheerfully, wholeheartedly, unconditionally. Again, I'm going to make a quick reference to scripture. The Bible says that you shall reap what you sow. But the problem is that a lot of us interpret it to mean you shall reap where you sow. And so usually our expectations are that I will do good to this person and this person will do good to me. But that's not what the scripture promises. Because I like to make reference to the scriptures because a lot of life principles can be found from there. So what scripture says to you is that give of value and you will receive of value. Not necessarily from where. So if you are giving unconditionally, you find the opportunity to communicate your value and you give of it. Even if it's not that person who is connecting you to the next person, the person who is taking you up in your place of partnership or platform or prosperity on the pyramid, someone else will. Someone else will. To attract what you want to see. Become that person. Give of yourself. Be intentional. Manage your relation. Learn emotional intelligence. Learn emotional intelligence. I wish I could launch into what emotional intelligence means, but to the simplest way I can say is to know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. That's the simplest way I can say. So learn it. It's a great tool in you and your network, the future you seek to build. Connect with the people that you're meeting on this call. Find ways that you can bring value. I was glad to hear, I think I got in at the tail end when someone was asking excellence, in what way can I help you or something? One of the ways to build great networks is to volunteer. The best doors that have opened up for me, as far as my life and career is concerned, have been greatly connected to my volunteering. And I think it's there in my bio. I put it intentionally, deliberately, because I think that more people in this generation need to learn that. I call myself a consummate volunteer. for all causes related to the things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about, gender equality and equity. I'm passionate about, helping young girls embrace technology, skills, and all that. So everything that is connected to this, I volunteer of my time, my money, my energy, and it's giving me my biggest source. And the thing is, it's not because I wanted it to. In fact, when I was gathering those skills, I didn't even know I was gathering skills. I didn't know. I was just, like I said, in my natural habitat. I was just doing my thing. I didn't expect anything. In fact, when I arrived, this country where I live now, the first job I got was as a result of my experience doing volunteer work. And when they saw it on my CV, and the guy who interviewed me said, "You belong here," I'm like, I don't understand. What's this guy talking about? Because honestly, in my mind, that thing, it was just something to use and give back. It was just something to use and give back. It wasn't something I was expecting to do anything for me. So look back at the people who have shaped your value system, your life. Who are they? If you check, sometimes it might just be one neighbor down your street. It might just be one grandma that you met. It might not be someone who was up in one position, because the person was just in their natural habitat, giving of themselves. Always find a way to give value. That's the easiest way to build the kind of network that you're looking for. I think I don't want to, but I can't even overemphasize this. But I'm wrapping up with saying that solution you're bringing, that's you and your network building the pyramid that you desire. I wish you all the best. Have a good evening.
Wow, too much fire. I've been going through the comments and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. This was loaded. Was so much. Please, what did we say to her? She can't even see the comments. You need to see the comments. Maybe later I'll just add you to so that you can see. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
This
Thank you
was
so much.
so good. This was so good. Thank you. Do you mind taking questions from them, please?
Of course, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, so
Please.
we're in Q&A, so we don't take so much of your time. But while we're at it, the attendance is open. There is no code. Just go and fill in your attendance. Click on the link in the comments. Sorry, not in the comments, in the caption, and just go fill in your attendance. No code. There's no code. All right. So if you have any question, quickly ask, because we might not be able to take all the questions. So shoot. What are your questions? Quick, 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 quick. Just shoot questions. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This session is loaded. This is amazing. Complete insight, mind shift. Thank you for the amazing session. Thank you lots, Ma. Like, there's so much. Okay, so now we have a very first question. Ma, thank you so much for this. We appreciate. What's the best way to improve networking? Others shout when they need assistance, but I don't get much from them. Where do I start on my journey to turning my network into my network?
Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Like I said, you have to be before you do. All right. You're going to have to focus on who you are becoming. You have to recognize that the journey of networking is first and foremost about you. If your attention is focused on other people and their response, you're going to feel frustrated, I can assure you. People are not always going to respond to you the way you think they should. People are not always going to respond to you the way you would. That's one of the expectations that we have, that gets us discouraged as we build a network. So you're going to, like I said, focus on it being about the person, the quality of, remind yourself that this is about my journey and the quality of person I'm building myself into. It's more about that than anybody's response. People's responses will eventually align It's a journey. For some people, it comes immediately. For some people, it comes later. For some people, they get it all wrong. For some people, they get it from a particular sector. But if you're focused on who you are becoming and the value that you want to communicate and give, it makes it easier for you. It shifts your attention from people's responses. And then you see that, like I said, it may not even be those people that you are looking out for or looking to impact or bring worth to you that will bring it. It will be other people. See, the truth of the matter is the principles of life never fail. All you need to do is just give it a little time. All right. So if you give it time and you have truly become a person of value, you will definitely be sought after. I can assure you. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you. So the next question, can you recommend us some book to read to improve our networking skills?
Okay. Maybe I can do that. Maybe not at the minute, because truth is there are a lot of that's also something to mention. Thank you for this question. The thing is, the sum total of who we are becoming, for me, or the sum total of who I've become, is not a function of just one area of life. I have the ability to draw lessons from different kinds of things, different kinds of materials and resources. So that's why I may not be able to readily point you to a particular book now to say, okay, this helped me improve my network skills. Because when I read a novel, it might not necessarily be talking about networking or even friendship, but I might pick something from what someone did there that I feel that, oh, this could help me as a skill. I don't know if you get. I could watch a movie and it's not necessarily talking about relationships, but I pick a particular scenario and see that this is the way, and that's why I talked about emotional intelligence. So I screen that information and I'm like, I can apply this to, this is an area. In fact, one of the things I do is that I think I'm my own self's greatest critic. All right. So I have the ability to be quite objective with myself and say, this is what I'm doing wrong. And then I can pick something and say, this can help me in this area. So I think that, while I will come back to you, Excellence, with some recommendations, maybe look through my mind and see some books that did help me. But I will tell you that in addition to that, and most importantly, is for you to be able to draw life lessons from whatever circumstances that you find. You will find that most helpful. Any other book, yes, a book can have, and the thing is that you can pick tips from a book, but some things that are in a particular resource may not be directly applicable to your own peculiar circumstances. You understand me? So yes, I will try to recommend things, but the most important thing is to be able to draw life lessons from living life, from whatever resources that you find access to, break it down and see how can it be applicable to this area of my life. But I will come back with one or two resources. Yeah.
Thank you. Should we allow everyone into our network?
Okay. Well, like I mentioned, there are some relationships that you really don't have any choice over. For instance, you didn't decide what family you were going to come into, right? And your family is part of your network. There are some people that are pushed into your network because we've agreed that network, is the totality of people that you know, both that those you know consciously, deliberately or not. So yeah, for the people that you have no choice about, and like I said, you learn to manage them. You learn to manage that relationship. You utilize emotional intelligence, so you know what to say. You place boundaries for those people. Yeah, yeah, there are colleagues that you absolutely have to work with. I mean, if you're gaining professional development, you're growing, you are achieving what you want to achieve in your career in a particular workplace, you're not going to resign because there's a particular colleague who you don't agree with or who doesn't do things the way you like, right? But you learn how to create boundaries with that person. So they're in your network, but it's like I didn't want to go into all of that because we didn't have so much time. But in network, we there's something they call there are three levels. There's the crowd, there's the community, and there's the core. All right. So not everybody can be in your, there's a crowd of people. The general network can be like a crowd. There's a community, your family, your friends. And then with your family and your friends, you have your core people. So you may not necessarily have so much control over everyone being in your network as it were, but you have control about who belongs to your community and who belongs to your core. So that you can control. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I've not gathered enough knowledge to get a job. Can I still go look for volunteer jobs? And how do I present myself without enough knowledge?
Okay. Yeah, it is a great idea to look for volunteer jobs, but I do not think that you should stop yourself from looking for a job because you have not gathered enough knowledge. There's something we call on the job training. Okay. I'm not sure where you are asking this question from. I don't know if you are in Nigeria. I don't know what field. I would have actually preferred a little bit more context and information to be able to answer this question better. But to answer it on a generic from a generic perspective, I would say that there are a lot of jobs, well, at least in certain countries, that offer you training, before you even start the work. But even where you are not in a place that allows that, you can, depending on your field. That's why I said, it would have been better to have a little more context. It depends on your field. What are you going to do? Take, for instance, a medical doctor. Of course, if you feel that you have not gotten the requisite training, you can't go and be treating people, or nurse and giving people injection without knowledge, yeah, adequate knowledge. But that would be different if, so for instance, you are looking to maybe get into a secretarial role. That's something that you can quickly get some, dusting up on, and then learn on the job, especially if you have a colleague or have a supervisor who is willing to help you brush up. So you don't shoot yourself in the leg by not taking up opportunities, because there are certain trainings or there are certain knowledge that you will not get until you are right smack in the situation. Because it's when those situations present themselves, as long as it's not something life threatening, it's not something that's going to affect someone's business adversely or cause loss to the company. I think that if you have the opportunity to seek for a job and say, oh, yeah, you get the opportunity. I would like some training. I would like, to know more. I would like to have a supervisor who can guide me. That's something you can do. But by all means, volunteer in the areas that you're interested in. In fact, for some of those companies, what you can do is to offer, or ask if they have internship opportunities, and then you intern with them for a bit and then graduate to working with them. So yeah, either which way works. But like I said, don't completely cut yourself out of getting a job because you don't have enough knowledge, depending on the kind of work that is involved. So you can learn on the job, and then you can also volunteer and gain experience.
Okay, I think this will be our final question. We have to wrap up in the next few minutes. Please, is there a way I could cut off people who do not bring into my life without making it seem like I'm hurting them? So you can all follow her on Facebook. I have just put her name on the screen. Just go on Facebook and find her. And she's very busy. So if you ask her a question, you might want to give her some time to answer. Or if you need her to help you in all, you can just reach out. She's very accessible. She's on our board and she loves women so much. But please, she's busy, so give her time. But I would love you to go to her Facebook and show her some love. Just go and show her that
Oh.
10 girls really that we really got value this night. Just go and find her on Facebook and show her some love. So this last question, is there a way to I could cut off people who do not bring into my life without making it seem like I'm hurting them? I think she meant that do not bring in value into my life.
Well, why do you want to cut off people because they're not bringing value into your life? What about all the people in your life who might consider that you are not bringing value into their lives? Like we said, your journey in networking has to be focused on you. It has to be more focused on what you can give and what anybody can give to you. So, if someone is hurting you, or doing things that do not align with your value, or you feel that that person in your space is detrimental to you in a material way, then you can, like I said, give boundaries and make sure they are not in your core. But I do not think that it's the proper thing to want to cut people out of your life because you think they are not bringing value. Someone may not be bringing value to you today, they might have value tomorrow. And then if they are not bringing value, what value are you bringing to them? They might be in your life so that you can be the one to give them value. So give them value. And then if they are not appreciating the value or they're doing something detrimental, you create boundaries in your relationship with them. But don't be so focused on what other people can bring into your life, because life is in stages. Someone who you think has nothing to offer today may be the bridge to the life that you desire tomorrow. So it's in stages. That's why I said it's a pyramid, and then it's a connection. So it goes like that. What if they have someone they can connect you to tomorrow? You don't know that. So focus on you, focus on your own journey and the value that you can bring. Only cut people off if you find that there's something detrimental that they're doing and you can no longer manage it. You have tried and you can no longer manage it. That's what I would say.
Oh wow, thank you so much for this. I'm sorry we can't take any more questions. There's so many questions, but they are also grateful to have you here. Attendance form is open. Check the caption for the details. And there is no code today. There is no code today. There is no code today. So about connections, I'm going to speak to your mentors to find out how you can have more engagement in the group to network with each other. But I think you will be able to meet more people on Facebook. Now, in your groups, most of you are from one country because we kind of classified you based on country because of the projects that you have ahead, and time zones as well, so that you don't have issues in choosing your review time. But on Facebook, everyone is there from all over 20 countries. So why don't you introduce yourself there and connect and ask people, and they will connect and find out, oh, this is what I like to do, this is who I am, and then you can share your number. The group is a closed group, so we don't have any foreigner inside there. It's well censored. So connect with people in the Facebook group. You meet more people there. From this comment, I'm seeing many. So the replay of this video is going to be in the Facebook group. So you can actually still check the comments and connect with people as well. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Favor, for this evening. We're so
Thank
grateful
you.
for you having us.
Bye.
Sorry, this is in Nigeria power. They'll switch the
It's
gen.
fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
but
Thank
thank
you so
you
much,
so much,
everyone. Bye.
everyone. Bye.